It's time for the news.
Another UFO sighting has taken place.
The leather's made out of cardboard.
The number you have dialed is in an alternate dimension.
Welcome back to Weird Week. My name's Jack. I'll be your host. Daniel's with us today. How you doing, Daniel?
The co-host with the mostest. The co-hostess with the mostest.
The co-hostess with the mostesses. Good to have you back. How you feeling? Good?
Good. Can't
Good.
complain.
Can't
You?
complain.
How's everybody doing out there in Weird Land? Is the real question.
Right. It's not about us. It's about you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I have plenty to complain about, but I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. It'll be better for all of us if I don't.
What's
including
eating
myself.
Jack?
Jack, nothing's eating Jack at the end of the day, but Jack sure wishes he was eating this new McDonald's side dish.
Oh boy.
So here in an article it says McDonald's adds a popular Burger King side dish to its menu. Because they're huge competitors. Well, are they? McDonald's is definitely winning that that war.
Hey, they don't have a Whopper.
They
with
don't have
onions,
the Whopper,
tomato, and lettuce.
but they have the Big Mac.
Oh boy.
It's just Whopper, Big Mac. It's actually a really pretty hard decision because if you haven't had a Whopper in a while, you'd be surprised. Go back, try it, be like, damn, Whoppers are good.
Yeah.
Why do I
Whoppers are good.
neglect Burger King? Why do I? But Burger King gets the short end of the stick a lot for some reason, being seen almost as a lesser chain.
It's funny because I don't eat those two burgers. When I go to McDonald's, I eat the nuggets, the Filet-O-Fish, or their soft serve. Those are the three top of the line items that McDonald's offers that I hope never goes away.
Not soft serve. Soft serve is soft
Really?
serve
Soft serve is like
anywhere.
the best. It's probably one of the top favorites for McDonald's and probably one of my favorite.
Soft serve is soft serve is soft serve. Anywhere
No,
I go,
it's
soft
different.
serve
It's
is
different.
the same.
McDonald's does it different. They do something to it. They use
They put
potatoes,
crack
I think.
cocaine in it.
Why not, man? It's working for me.
I mean, the other items are a lot. Like when I would eat McDonald's and Burger King a lot, definitely I was a chicken nugget guy. But I mean, I also cannot deny that a Big Mac is probably my favorite sandwich at a McDonald's because I've had a lot of Big Macs in my time too. That was a good one. Whopper. I'd probably eat a lot of Whoppers if I had gone to Burger King, but at the end of the day, it's like I was saying, McDonald's won that war for the most part. As far as we can tell so far, they're taking the lead heavily. Anyways, back to this topic. I find it funny though that this article is kind of like saying that because it's like they're kind of trying to pit McDonald's versus Burger King. It's like headline grabbing because it's McDonald's versus Burger King. But at the end of the day, when they're saying that McDonald's is adding a Burger King side dish, it's kind of baloney because it's just onion rings. It's not like Burger King invented onion rings. Like they're putting a fried side dish that Burger King also has on their menu, but it's not like a Burger King side dish. Like they didn't invent the onion rings. I guarantee it. And but also these McDonald's onion rings will only be in the Chicago headquarters.
That sucks. I want to try onion rings at McDonald's.
Chicago headquarters only, one location, not even multiple Chicago locations, strictly the headquarters. And it's like, it's also funny because they're already a menu item in Australia. So it's like, why did you have to say they're adding a Burger King menu item when it's like it is a McDonald's menu item in Australia? Why don't you say they're adding an Australian McDonald's menu item? it's just headline grabbing, try to draw you in with some war talk, but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, okay, Burger King has onion rings. McDonald's literally made one batch of onion rings for their Chicago headquarters. Like, why is this news?
I mean, it might take off, and they might actually offer it countrywide, nationwide. So it might be. I mean, if this thing, if they feel like this might,
Yeah,
I know
I
Mc-
would assume that's the hope.
yeah, I think McDonald's has taken a little bit of a hit. I'm not sure as far as like, because I think a lot of times, I don't know where I stand with like where they stand as far as pop. I remember at one point it was really, really popular, and I don't think people go to McDonald's as much, although they do still serve billions, but not the big billions they once used to.
Yeah, no, well, I think you're right. McDonald's is probably doing a lot worse on the whole, especially in terms of people realizing like that they just need to be eating healthier, and McDonald's is not necessarily that. But onion rings are onion rings. I've had some good gluten-free onion rings. Like, that's one of the few things that you can do right, gluten-free. And so I do at least hope people can get their McDonald's onion rings, because that's, to me, a better side dish than fries. And
Yeah,
that's a pretty bold statement, but
I'm with you on that. I prefer onion rings to fries, and I know Burger King offers that option. It's like, do you want onion rings or do you want fries? And I thought that's pretty dope. I'm not sure
right.
if Burger King invented the onion ring, but I know Carl's Jr. was the first burger I've ever had where they had onion ring inside the burger.
Let's find out.
But I'm pretty sure Carl's Jr. started that, which is awesome. Onion
Started.
rings, the onion ring started the burger. I'm not sure if that's like accurate. I'm not sure if that's accurate. Yeah,
In the burger, right.
yeah.
It says that it was invented by a guy named John Millord, and it doesn't necessarily have any sort of like business name attached to the invention of the onion ring. So it's not a Burger King invention. It is kind of a Burger King staple. Like, for a fast food chain that's one of the fastest fast food chains, in the sense that they're just like a huge franchise. They they are one of the only ones that offer you onion rings as just like the almost the equivalent choice of a fry, and just like
Hmm.
offer that option. Most of them are usually like fries versus curly fries at like Jack in the Box and Carl's, or
Hmm.
Carl's does waffle fries. They all have their own variation thing, right?
Oh yeah, they have those crisp cut fries that's like super. Oh, delicious, delicious.
Yeah. Um, Wendy's got curly and crisp cut, and or not crisp cut, but curly and
Like baked
like
potato.
their regular potato fries though are like fresher than your average fast food one. They have like, you can tell they taste really, really good. I mean, I don't know how we've been talking about fries for so long. In-N-Out's got my favorite fries, and that's a huge controversy. A lot of people hate those fries. A lot of people have a lot of opinion about those
I don't
fries.
I don't hate the fries. I just think they taste too much like potato chips.
It's supposed to taste like potato. That's the good thing about it.
No, like
Tastes
potato
like a
chips
potato.
from you eat from Lay's. Like if you open up eat a bag like a bag
What
of Lay's potato chips, it tastes kind of like similar.
what about it though? It's just too much oil, too much salt,
Well,
too much
I'm not
potato.
complaining. I just think that like to call it the best, it's just like, oh, then is Lay's potato chips your favorite chip of all time? It's just like, no, it isn't. So I don't know. Like that's where I stand. I don't think they're the best, but
There's a
it
lot more
would be.
flavors of Lay's potato chips than there are of like regular fries out there.
Yeah,
Fries are fries are fries.
fries are good though, but
It's true.
Chick-fil-A waffle fries is
Are
the
good.
best. Is
Are
the
not the best.
best.
They're good. They're not the best.
We
They're
are gonna okay, guys. Vote, go back, go to our socials, vote, leave a comment.
vote. In-N-Out, In-N-Out fries or Chick-fil-A crisp cut. And we're not even gonna put curly in there, onion rings in there. Onion rings would probably win. We've already established this.
Yeah. Onion rings are effing awesome.
And I mean, I'm not in disagreement with you in saying that Chick-fil-A's fries are good. I like their crisp cut fries, especially with the Chick-fil-A sauce.
Mhm.
But but In-N-Outs are better. And I'm not even saying like In-N-Outs animal style or anything. Like In-N-Outs regular fries just dipped in ketchup, so fucking good. Who knows? Maybe I just really like the taste of potato.
I think that might be it. Do you like mashed potato?
I love mashed potatoes.
There you go. You just like potatoes.
Potatoes are amazing. What, you don't like mashed potatoes?
I love mashed potatoes.
So you like potatoes too? We all
That's
love
my
potatoes.
favorite. It's
Favorite
second
form
to
of potato.
it's second to stuffing mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh,
It'd be stuffing and then mashed potatoes are the two favorite dishes that
DK,
come out of
man.
it.
I'm glad we're friends because if we had these kinds of conversations beforehand, we may be enemies. Because at this point, stuffing's disgusting. How dare
Oh my
you?
god. Okay. Tune in next
Firstly,
week for our other episode of Just Jack.
Just Jack. There's the biggest issue with stuffing now for me is that I'm gluten free. Stuffing's like literally just all like soaked up bread.
So it's
So
yeah.
that's kind of a no bueno. But also,
Uh-huh.
when I was a kid, I kind of didn't like it. I have to admit, and it's mostly because stuffing to me, when I would eat it, would just I liked the flavor. I didn't like the consistency because it just tasted like I was just eating like super soggy bread, and I just didn't get into that. I just felt like it was like, why is my bread soaking wet? Like, I hate this.
But when it soaks up all that flavor from which the turkey juices with the onions, it's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I do still love turkey. Another controversial opinion. I love it with cranberry sauce. I also love it with gravy. I could eat that shit plain, but cranberry
Not a
sauce.
big fan of turkey. Not a big fan of turkey.
No, I like turkey a lot.
It's too dry.
I like white meat turkey. I like that dry shit a lot. But because it's so dry, I almost have to put on gravy and cranberry sauce, but I enjoy that. Like, I would rather feel the need to put on gravy and cranberry sauce and enjoy it like that than not. Anyways, we've been talking a lot about food.
You might be hungry too, because I am.
Maybe I need to go eat. It is late on a Friday. Let's get some grub. Oh man. Next article. This one I don't actually know much about. I don't know if you want to kind of just like fill me in or if we just kind of like want to brush over it briefly. But what happened when a New York Brooklyn neighborhood policed itself for 5 days? I didn't read the article. I don't know.
So it's about like this group of people that kind of wanted to police their own streets,
Right.
because there has been some issues with like the relationship between the community and the police department. So it just like they do have no arrests, but they think that this has been pretty successful, and a lot of them, the members of this program, are people that were ex-convicts, and it's a wide
Right.
diaspora of people, and they think it's probably more effective than having a police officer come into their neighborhood to
Probably,
yeah. But I mean, it's like also like they also I mean with crime there's like such a wide range of crimes too, that like not every cop is going to be capable of handling. So I think if you have members of the community coming in, they might even, the person that might be in question might even like know the guy that's trying to patrol him. So it's just like there's a established trust between the two. So I mean, they could try to de-escalate the situation a lot more efficiently than a
Right.
cop would, who an anonymous cop that shows up and
right.
if let's say he's having a bad day, he might be a little bit more aggressive than usual. I don't know. It just
Right.
like I always have been an advocate of where the community raises the child as opposed to like having these outside third parties raise your child, where it's just I think that a unified community is always a better option. And also there's also like, it's interesting, I don't know where I saw it though, but there was some video circulating of like an ex-gang member where I thought it was a YouTube, where they asked him like, hey, do you think like this wouldn't have happened if you guys were around? And a lot of times gangs are also portrayed as like, these thugs that just go around steal and murder, but like they painted a picture where like the gangs actually protected the community from outside theft, from like
Right.
other communities. So it's just there's also that quality of them that doesn't get usually the shine that it should. But I mean,
Right.
it's I know going back to this article, I think I'm all for it. I think if they can find a way to kind of use this and with the law enforcement, I think makes for a very safe community.
Yeah. I think it reminds me of what's happened here in LA back in like the 80s and stuff when the gangs really blew up. It was originally, people should know this by now, that Crips and Bloods were originally created as police forces, essentially as like gang police forces within their own communities, because the police did not want to show up to those neighborhoods and they did not want to deal with the people within those neighborhoods, and they needed to start trying to police themselves or shit wasn't going to get any better. And it ended up becoming gang on gang violence, and that's where like gangs kind of took a different turn. But initially it wasn't supposed to be violence, it was supposed to be policing in their own type of way. And I think this in today's time can be implemented much better, and especially when they're like talking and working with the cops essentially to have it happen. It was kind of like with the Crips and the Bloods, it was kind of like a thing where they were doing it in spite of cops because cops wouldn't show up. But it's like this time is the cops want to show up. They just know it's like not in the best interest of everybody to be the people to try to talk to some of these guys. Like,
Yeah.
because like, and,
Yeah.
and like you were saying, sometimes it's like it's low level crimes, sometimes it's bigger crimes. But at the end of the day, like sometimes the police don't care and they would rather everybody just be safe, happy, and chilling than like trying to like be the face that goes in there and says shut it down. Like they don't, like they want to keep things calm too, so it's like it's dealing with injustices and crime but also keeping the peace.
Yeah.
Like the police cannot be the spark to disturb the peace. They have to be the peacekeepers, and if they can't be the peacekeepers, they're looking for help for people that are a part of that community. And I can appreciate that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
Yeah. But I never knew gangs started from policing.
You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, man. I watched like a whole documentary on like the forming of the LA gangs and stuff. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it was like, and it is interesting. It's like, it's very interesting to know that gangs were created with good intent. Shit happens. I'm glad that it's kind of like the same thing happening, but it's being implemented in New York in a more modern time when police are involved in it. It's important that we clear up the streets from shitty behavior. What was the website address on 798,000 Maryland license plates leads to Philippines gambling site? What? Why is there?
So it's a design of a certain license plate. It's a design and content of the War of 1812. So yeah, apparently there's a website printed on this license plate, and if you go to that website, it's a gambling site, like you said.
But why? Like, why don't they have the rights to it? Or like, why would they put it on there if they didn't have the rights to the website name? Like, why?
I have no idea what happened as far as the back end of whatever this site is, but it just happened to go to a Philippines website. Maybe people are typing it in wrong, or maybe they misspelled it on all these license plates. But who knows? I mean, you can appreciate the War of 1812 and also gamble.
They say, okay, so the Maryland Motor Vehicles Administration says they don't own the website printed on the plates, and they don't endorse the views or content on the current websites. So it's like, why are you printing them with the website on it?
I think it's pretty cool that they're promoting gambling.
I mean, it's like, yeah, you guys are just shooting yourselves in the foot. You want to like fight gambling while you promote it at the same time. It's so
Yeah.
strange. But it really does bring those questions to mind. Just like, why is it still happening? Why didn't they get rid of the license plate, or why didn't they just get rid of the address? Like, why is it still a thing? Like, you would think that they would have figured it out.
Yeah, they printed out way too much license plates. They're like, ah, fuck it.
We don't support it, but you know, it's there.
Well, what's so bad about a gambling website anyway? I mean, geez.
It's your money. Do what you want with it. If you want to be broke because you spent all your money on gambling, that's your own fucking fault. If you want to,
states promote lottos all the time, and that's to a degree gambling. I mean, you're putting your money
100%.
into something
Yeah.
that may not even have any returns, and for a lot of people, for most people that I know of, it doesn't. So I don't know. It just feels like why do you promote this type of gambling but not that type of gambling? It just always seemed strange to me.
Yeah, it is a very, very strange thing. And it's like similarly what has been happening with the NFL recently, where like they were 100% against gambling up until like 3 years ago. Yeah, basically until DraftKings and fantasy football started to really, really take off. Once all of that started to really take off, now gambling's like really cool with the NFL, almost like in a bad way. Like now they're like, yeah, dude, gamble all your money on the NFL. It's like, Jesus Christ, guys. Some funny stuff. That one befuddles me. That one's a little bit strange that they would keep the stuff on there. But you know, there's other stuff that's befuddling me all over the East Coast. For some reason, like the East Coast, Midwest, over Chicago and Easter and more east. This shit's just going crazy over there. We have some students from Delaware who snuck into their teacher's house and spent the night without her knowledge as a senior prank. It's like, okay, when do senior pranks go too far? You can't break into somebody's house and sleep in there, even if she's like the coolest teacher ever and you guys are like buddies. Like, you don't do that. I wouldn't do that to my own best friend. I wouldn't go and sleep in his house like without him knowing. Like, what kind of crazy idea was that? Are you guys nuts?
I mean, it is. I'm guessing. I don't know, like how small this town is. It might be one of those towns where like everybody practically knows each other, and these pranks don't mean anything. We live in LA, where breaking into somebody's house is a serious offense because there's a lot of dangers involved. So I believe big city people can relate, but I think small town people, like they live a different way than we do. So it's just kind of like, oh, to them it might be innocent, but I mean, the teacher seemed to be cool with it. She backed out of the room and said, "Good morning."
She said, "Good morning, little bunnies." Like, there's a lot of people commenting how frustrated they are with it, kind of like I just said. It's just like, what are you guys thinking? But then there's still plenty of people that are just like, well, it's nice that she just like said, "Morning, bunnies."
Like I said, you and I, we're from LA, so therefore it's like this thing is unheard of. You cannot do that. But like in smaller towns and certain communities, I think it's like, oh, kids will be kids.
That is just absurd. I couldn't tell you the kind of reaction I would have if I woke up and there was anybody in my house that I didn't invite in. That is nuts. I have one more thing here that I hadn't pulled up, but I just came across it. Might as well touch on it because it's about aliens and I love aliens. But it came up on one of these articles and it just basically says alien-like message sent to Earth in a test to prepare for the real thing. it looks like they're just trying to recreate what they would believe to be the kinds of messages, sounds, and weird like things that we would receive from extraterrestrials, and then how you would decode and decipher it.
Yeah.
But I think that's like pretty far-fetched, unless they really do believe they have transmissions from extraterrestrials that resemble the one that they're recreating here to decipher.
Yeah.
Then I don't really understand like why anyone would think they could even come close to creating an alien-like message when we don't know what a message from aliens looks like at all.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It reminds me of that scene from Monsters vs. Aliens. If you ever saw that movie,
I did.
where there's this giant robot and this president comes up and he's playing do, 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 trying to communicate with it.
That was a good one. That was like Monsters vs. Aliens was underrated, if you ask me. Was that DreamWorks? That was DreamWorks.
I believe
right?
it was DreamWorks, yeah.
DreamWorks has bangers, man. We already talked about this. I love the DreamWorks ones. That one had Seth Rogen and I think Will Arnett. Like,
yeah.
Classic. I love both those guys. Oh my god. All right. Thanks again for joining us, guys. It has been a freaking weird one. It's always good. Tune in next week. Like, subscribe, follow, send us all your money. We like your money.
Peace.